there's the evergreen debate about open source versus closed source and all that. And I think in security in particular, like, how are you thinking about LLM usage? Do you see a lot of folks wanting to use local open source models? Are you seeing people not really caring that much because it requires nuance? Like, are there a lot of like murmurings in data privacy that you hear fairly often here?
Yeah, I think right now the default is if we don't have to use like a model hosted in the cloud by someone else, then let's not, right? And if we can do it all local, do it local. Is that necessary? That's a different question. But first, the inclination of people is like, well, I don't want to share anything if I don't have to, and not even get close to it if I don't have to. So certainly a lot of people are interested in local. Then there's the halfway step of like, well, we're paying someone, but in theory, they're not taking or doing anything with that data and it's secure. And then there's like the full on, public chat GPT, which like in most organizations, they say you can't use, right? Having just taught a class for a bunch of people in the military, right? They mentioned like there's the government version, right, of a LLM that they are allowed to use now at this point. And if they're doing it, I gotta assume, right, every company is largely moving in that direction. I know a lot of large companies have their own internal tools for this, right? Ultimately, those are still things that are hosted in the cloud, owned by somebody else. I doubt they're all running those locally, but certainly that's what people are interested in. Now, should they care? That's a different question. I asked the same question on the podcast interview I had mentioned to James at Elastic, and he said, and I thought this was an interesting take. It's like people are all worried about, oh, what's going to happen if I put my LLM interactions, with this company in the cloud? I don't know what they're doing with it. It's like, they already have all your data. You're using the cloud, right? If they were going to be the compromise and you couldn't trust them, like in a lot of cases, all of your sensitive files are already owned by them. So are your chats that much different? Maybe, maybe not, right? It's very situationally dependent, but it's an interesting argument, right? And on top of that, he said the power it takes in terms of GPUs to actually run all of this stuff locally is like immense and difficult to acquire right now. So you may be forced to do that anyway.